It's Q&A time. I'm only doing this Q&A, I know I'm not even at 500 yet, but I am close, so do subscribe. But I wanted to do this Q&A to reveal some stuff, you know what I mean? Because I don't really talk about my stuff that often. I usually just post weekly and get on. So, let's go! My first question is from Breezy, and his question is, why did you start making content? The reason I started making content was because I love animation, or loved animation. I don't do it as often as I used to because of the limitations that have been put in place for me, and because my channel is so different from what it used to be, I can't really make that type of stuff anymore. I do animate from time to time, but it's on a rare occasion where I think, oh, this would be a good idea, or oh, this could, help help the channel. But I think I've started it because I wanted to be someone, it was just a random day, and I thought, what if I did this? And from that point on, 4 years ago, I've just been dedicated. I talk about it at least 8,000 times every year, and getting to a point where it became weekly content, which is now, I think it's just the case that I want to stick to it. But eventually, I will return to animation. Our next question is from Ugly Little Thing, who asks, who is your favourite member? I don't really know how to answer this question, so I think I'm just gonna say about some of my favourite YouTubers, or some of my YouTuber friends, you know what I mean? So, and I'm not gonna do this in a list or ranking, because I don't want to do that and make it seem like I prefer people more than others, because I want to treat everyone the same, you know what I mean? So, I want to go first with Manny VR. He's very creative. I can't really say creative, but he's very different, because he does his content in such a different, unique way that just makes me appreciate his stuff more. I've always found his editing style to be so, intriguing, almost, because it's very, while it's not too much, it's enough, you know what I mean? It gets straight to the point, here's the video, here's some background music, enjoy. It's very uncut, you know what I mean? And that's the charm that I love. So, yeah, Manny VR, that's one of them. I'm also gonna give it to Glitch. I'm not gonna talk about his editing, because, that's kind of my job. But I do like his comedy. He from time to time, he might make a bad joke. Not in the sense that it's bad that will get him cancelled, but in the sake that it's kind of outdated. But from time to time, he does have some special ones. Genuinely, this random story, but me and him and Patrick were on call, and this guy was genuinely sleeping, he was hitting his Z's, and this guy genuinely went, "We did it, Adams, we did it, let's celebrate and listen to music." And me and Patrick were just sitting there the fuck is this guy dreaming about? I don't understand, how could you possibly come up with that, sleep talking? But yeah, those are the two that I'm gonna, shout out. I did say I was gonna do 4, I think. I don't remember. But yeah, that's one of the people. Chris_R3 asks, will you play VR chat? Well, I did play it once, and it just, I don't know, it doesn't seem like it's for me. I understand it's a role play, chill, play some fun games, but I've always found it to be a bit mundane. It all just feels the same. Every map just do this here, or role play this. Like, I understand why people find it fun, but I just never found myself the roleplay type person. I want to stick to being me. You get what I mean? So, to answer your question, no, I will not play VR chat. Angry Cheese Slice asks, how long have you been editing for? I mean, when it comes to, like, content creation, I can't really say editing for Animverse, because while, yes, I use CapCut to animate the characters, that's less editing. That's actually just animation. So I can only really say editing when I started, like, editing for Mr. Glitch. And that's, like, proper editing, where I spent time on it. But the thing is with editing, I've got to be so meticulous. I know, because I know people don't say it, but I've heard from a couple people that I do reuse music. For example, that one Undertale song, or Wimble Isle. So, I am working on trying to be a bit more inconsistent with songs, so that it sounds, you know, it's a better vibe. Because I usually, like, if I can't find music, I use, like, lo-fi. But then again, it's Scary Baboon. Why are we using lo-fi for the background music? I think, also with editing, I've always found it to be a passion, because it means I can show off my work. And that just kind of traces back to the question from earlier, but with Breezy, about, like, why I wanted to do what I do now. And, like, I've always, like, it's not really difficult for me, because I usually think of how I'm going to edit the video as I record. And it's like, I think, oh, like, mid-video, like, I won't say it out loud, but I'll be like, oh, I just did this. Why don't I put this joke there? And that means I can just do what I want with my stuff. Like, I don't have to, I can be a bit more free with what I make. Sunnyfinch GT asks, will you ever make a movie in Gorilla Tag or Scary Baboon? Well, I've been thinking about it, for one, but I can't really figure out a movie idea, because with, like, I already have the Baboon tapes, and a film based on the Baboon tapes wouldn't really work. I understand, like, analog horror is a very big thing, but to do it with something like the Baboon tapes, it's very difficult, for one. Mainly because the storyline that I have set up only lasts the 6 tapes, and there really isn't anything after that. So if I was to make a movie, it would have to be very, like, it would take long for me to come up with what I wanted to make. With Gorilla Tag, like, trying to make a movie, if I'm just getting random people from public lobbies, I'm just gonna look like a fool, because most people get irritated by that, including me. I remember that one clip of me where somebody was, I think it was that ghost hunting video where somebody asked, oh, can somebody record, like, a ghost film of me? And I genuinely just said, like, shut up. Editor me, play the clip now.
Who wants to do a movie? Who wants to do a kidnap movie?
We don't want to do a movie. Yeah, if I was to come up with a film in layman's terms, it would take long. Mr. Fish VR asks, how do you make your VHS tapes so good? Well, I think, again, I'm just going back to the Baboon tapes, because, like, when I started doing that, I already had, like, a simple story set up. Like, some guy dies and the family keeps dying, and it's, like, a common trait, and, like, the monsters are, like, you know, the relatives, like, made into monsters, and, like, it's really hard to explain. But if you're talking how do you make them editing-wise, I usually use, like, this website that Angry Cheese Slice gave me, and it's, I don't remember what it's called, but I'll put the link to it in the description if you need it. And I'll also try and find a way to put the preset that I use in it, because I made my own. And I think with that, like, I also put, like, voice effects on the video, like, on the normal footage, because that way it sounds more real. And one thing I noticed is that people, whenever they make like analog horror, it's all like cookie cut. Like if you're gonna make an analog horror, please do something original. And if you can't do something original, make up try and take an idea and change it as much as you can so it's not plagiarism, because you should never do plagiarism. Potato asks, why do you think Revamp Lab is better than OG Lab? Well, to put it in simple terms, because this is going to be kind of a short question, I've always found that the lab map is kind of like too expansive. Like some people say too much salt ruins the dish, and I feel like it's not the OG Lab, I wouldn't say it's a full example, but it's like it kind of follows that sort of idea. So, like, I've always loved, like, the Revamp Lab's little square section with all those closable doors, because you could just have so much fun there. Like, if you're in a public lobby, just genuinely find some people, get a monster, and just run. It's some of the funnest stuff you can do in the map. And, to boot, Revamp Lab is so much more fun to do in Be the Monster than it is in OG Lab, because with Revamp Lab, it's just so much I can't even explain it. Like, the map is smaller, meaning which there's a lesser chance of you not finding the generators. Oh gosh, he's coming towards me. Nope. Shaquille Oatmeal asks, would you consider yourself fat or obese? Dude, I'm gonna be so honest, I'm the equivalent of 4 pencils, a rubber, and just a fucking, it's so hard to explain. Like, four pencils, a rubber for the head, and like, just like a fucking pencil, no, not a pencil case. I have a rubber for the body, pencil limbs, and a fucking pencil case head. That's how I'm gonna put it. Bro, I genuinely am an amalgamation. I don't really know how to delve into this question. Like, it's just so random, to put it. So, but, yeah. Thank you for the question, Shaquille Oatmeal. Okay, I think I'm gonna end things there, because I don't want to do too many questions, so sorry if I didn't get your question. I'll see if I can do another Q&A some other time and try and include some older questions. But for now, like, subscribe, I'll see you in the next video. Raw Anims out.